Dragon's Dogma Online evolved in ways few other action MMOs did, and over 3 major seasons, Capcom introduced new mechanics, refined combat, and built toward an ambitious vision, one that sources reveal included even a 4th and 5th season, as well as a long-term roadmap for years of content. The 3rd and last season was just recently restored by the private server devs, and with it, the final form of Dragon's Dogma Online. But to fully appreciate what this really means for the community, we need to break down exactly what was delivered in these 3 seasons, and for the first time, take a closer look at what Capcom had planned next, based on public interviews and reports. If you've never played DDon, consider this your ultimate primer. What made this MMO so special? How it grew? And where it was heading. Season 1 laid the foundation of the game. This is where players first stepped into the world, picked a vocation, built a party including pawns, and started tackling the core combat style. Mechanically, the first season brought enemy climbing and targeting. You could latch onto large monsters, climb them, and strike weak points, very much in the classic Dragon's Dogma style. But they also added this improved stagger system, visualized by this blue bar, and when reduced to 0, the enemy would get staggered. They also added a new move while climbing that would reduce the enemy's stance much faster. There was a mix of story-driven dungeons and open-world exploration, balancing solo and group play, and a unique party structure, where up to 4 players plus their pawns would be working together in synergy, encouraging coordination in both combat and exploration. Capcom also tied in an elemental dragon identity for each season, which I find very interesting. Season 1 centered around the Golden Dragon, created by a former alchemist named Diamantes. This season was all about establishing who you are in this world and what this game's combat would feel like. In Season 2, Capcom didn't just add more content. They introduced significant mechanical depth and improved how players interacted with the world. Key additions was the new Spirit Lancer, which uses a spear-like weapon. This class gave a fresh playstyle, better reach, leaping strikes, and a different movement flow. They also introduced the new Alchemist class, a tanky and mobile fighter armed with a magic gauntlet. This class uses the secrets of alchemy to inflict and manipulate status abnormalities, with a class-specific finisher that would make Dante proud. And last but not least, the High Scepter, a magical swordsman who uses his blade to take his enemy's magic into his own hands, dubbed the Light of the Battlefield. This vocation quickly became my favorite thanks to its high damage potential, as well as being a more badass Mystic Knight archetype. But Capcom also expanded both skill and vocation systems, and the classes received deeper customization, meaning skill trees and upgrades had more meaningful impact. Larger multi-phase quests, meaning missions get more elaborate, with multi-room dungeons and multi-step objectives, making the content feel more rewarding. They also added new RPG features, with furnishable houses for players and their pawns, creating a more social, persistent space for avatars outside combat. The AI also became smarter, enemies got better attack patterns, and battles felt more dynamic. As for the dragon identity, Season 2's narrative was tied to a spirit dragon, marking a shift from the Golden Dragon's more straightforward theme. Mechanically, this season felt like a strong step forward, more strategic, more roles, and more reason to group up and explore. Then, Season 3 is where things really escalated. This was not just a content expansion, it was a refinement of everything DDon had become. The new region, Akerselland, a more vertical and layered landscape, offered climbing, and a more aerial feel to exploration. The dungeons weren't just corridors anymore, but included multi-room layouts, dramatic transitions, and new multi-phase boss encounters made exploration feel more like a proper action RPG. This season introduced the domain of the Fire Dragon, and monster behavior, animations, and attacks became more complex and visually impressive, as well as improved responsiveness, smoother combos, and better cancelling between actions. So fights flowed more naturally. Major vocations like Sorcerer, Fighter, and Ranger got serious tuning. In turn, their skill sets evolved, making earlier builds feel more refined and powerful. Through these mechanical improvements, Season 3 delivered one of the most polished experiences in the game's lifespan. Now, what could have been? Capcom's developers made it clear they had ambitious long-term plans for Dragon's Dogma Online. According to lead developers, the game was built around a plan of 5 major dragons, each corresponding to a phase or season in the story. Capcom originally projected service and content for at least 5 years, not just a short-lived live game. And in their annual reports, Capcom noted that the first stage of Season 2 had already been released, but they were creating the framework for Season 3 simultaneously. So they had big growth ambitions and hoping that players who played the MMO would buy the original game as well. Early interviews projected that the world of Didion could eventually be 3 times larger than the original Dragon's Dogma game, showing just how big Capcom hoped the game could become. While only Seasons 1 to 3 were fully released, Capcom did plan for Season 4 and 5 with future dragons and evolving systems. And in-game menus suggest these could be the black and white dragon these seasons would revolve around. The later seasons might have introduced entirely new gameplay mechanics, regions, or dragon-themed challenges. Unfortunately, those plans never fully materialized, but they remain a part of Didion's design legacy. And although Seasons 4 and 5 never launched, the ambition for 5 dragon domains and a multi-year roadmap shows just how much heart was put into Didion's design, a game that for many ended way too soon. But let me know in the comments, which mechanic or dragon phase would you have liked to see me cover here? And if you want more content like this, then you know what to do. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.